Lakshmibai, the legendary Queen of Jhansi, was no ordinary ruler. From childhood, she mastered sword fighting and horse riding, skills rare for girls in the 19th century. Her father encouraged her to break tradition, and she became known for riding with reins in her teeth, swords in both hands. Born Manikarnika Tambe, she became Lakshmibai after marrying the Maharaja of Jhansi. Tragedy struck. Her husband died, and the British refused to recognize her adopted son as heir. Lakshmibai refused to surrender, vowing, "I shall not surrender my Jhansi." Her leadership transformed Jhansi into a symbol of resistance. Lakshmibai's courage wasn't about the size of her army, but the strength of her spirit. She stood as a beacon of hope, showing that true leadership means standing tall when all seems lost. Lakshmibai's name endures as a symbol of courage and hope, and her legacy echoes through history as the spirit of Jhansi. The siege of Jhansi was relentless. Lakshmibai and her outnumbered army fought bravely as British cannons battered the fort. She moved along the ramparts, rallying her soldiers and directing defenses, her presence fueling their determination. Despite their passion, the walls crumbled and supplies dwindled. The British pressed on, making defeat inevitable. Lakshmibai faced a painful truth. Staying meant certain death for all, and the dream of freedom would die with them. When the British finally breached the city, fierce street battles erupted. Men and women fought side by side, but the British forces were overwhelming. Lakshmibai realized her capture would crush the rebellion's spirit. Her fight was now for a greater cause, India's freedom. Losing Jhansi was heartbreaking, but she refused to surrender or despair. Instead, she saw the fall of her city as the start of a new struggle. She chose to escape, determined to continue the fight elsewhere. Her resolve only grew stronger in defeat. The loss of Jhansi became a rallying cry, not a surrender. Lakshmibai's spirit of defiance would not be extinguished. She inspired her followers to keep fighting, even in the face of overwhelming odds. The Queen's journey was far from over. Her war against the British had only just begun. She would not let the fall of her kingdom be the end of her story. Instead, it became the beginning of her legend. Lakshmibai's courage turned defeat into hope. She would live to fight another day, and her struggle would inspire a nation. With Jhansi lost, Lakshmibai made a bold decision. She would escape to keep the rebellion alive. Disguised as a man, she strapped her young son Damodar Rao to her back, ready to risk everything. Her loyal guards gathered, prepared to defend her at any cost. Mounting her trusted horse Badal, she waited for nightfall. Under the cover of darkness, they raced toward the fort's walls. At a critical moment, Lakshmibai urged Badal to leap from the ramparts, a daring escape that would become legend. British sentries gave chase, but the Queen and her guards fought fiercely, outmaneuvering their pursuers. Lakshmibai rode tirelessly through the night, covering miles with relentless determination. She fought off attackers, sword in hand, never faltering in her mission to protect her son and her cause. Her escape was not just a flight, it was a statement of defiance. She was heading for Kalpi, where other rebel leaders awaited. The journey was grueling, but her will never broke. Lakshmibai's ride became a symbol of her unyielding courage. She proved that even in retreat, a true leader inspires hope. Her daring escape kept the rebellion alive. The Queen's legend grew with every mile. She would not be captured, nor would her spirit be broken. Lakshmibai's journey through the night was a testament to her bravery. She was determined to fight on, no matter the odds. Her story was far from over. The Queen of Jhansi was still a force to be reckoned with. Exhausted but undaunted, Lakshmibai reached Kalpi, where rebel leaders like Tatya Tope and Rao Sahib awaited. Her arrival electrified the camp. Her escape had already become legend. The rebels needed unity and inspiration, and Lakshmibai provided both. She was welcomed not as a refugee, but as a commander. In war councils, her strategic mind and first-hand experience proved invaluable. She insisted on discipline, training, and unity among the diverse rebel forces. Her leadership transformed scattered bands into a cohesive army. Lakshmibai's presence boosted morale. Soldiers saw in her a leader who had lost everything but her courage. She trained with them, inspected defenses, and spoke directly to her troops. Under her guidance, hope was rekindled. The rebels were ready to face the British again, this time stronger and more determined. Lakshmibai's leadership forged a new alliance. Kalpi became a beacon of resistance. The Queen's fight for freedom was far from over. The British, led by Sir Hugh Rose, advanced on Kalpi, determined to crush the rebellion. Lakshmibai, Tatya Tope, and Rao Sahib prepared for a decisive battle. Lakshmibai took charge of defenses, using the terrain and planning surprise attacks. She led from the front, rallying her troops and inspiring them with her courage. The rebels fought fiercely, nearly breaking the British lines at one point. But the British Army's discipline and firepower slowly turned the tide. Despite Lakshmibai's brilliant tactics, the rebels suffered heavy losses. The battle raged for days, but ultimately, Kalpi fell. It was another bitter defeat, but Lakshmibai's spirit remained unbroken. She and her allies escaped, determined to continue the fight. The loss tested their resolve, but did not shatter it. Lakshmibai's leadership kept hope alive. The war was not over. The Queen's determination only grew stronger. After Kalpi, the rebels needed a new stronghold. Lakshmibai proposed a daring plan: capture Gwalior, a powerful fortress city. She and Tatya Tope appealed to the Gwalior army's patriotism, urging them to join the fight for India's freedom. When the rebels arrived, the Maharaja's soldiers refused to fight against them. Instead, many joined the rebellion. The Maharaja fled, and without a major battle, the rebels seized Gwalior's mighty fort. This victory gave them a vast treasury, weapons, and a renewed army. The capture of Gwalior shocked the British and reignited rebel hopes. Rao Sahib was declared the new Peshwa in a grand ceremony. For a brief moment, it seemed the tide might turn. Lakshmibai's bold strategy had paid off. The rebellion had a new base and new momentum. The Queen's leadership had given the cause fresh life. Gwalior became a symbol of hope. But the British would not let it stand for long. The triumph at Gwalior was short-lived. Sir Hugh Rose quickly marched to reclaim the city. Lakshmibai urged immediate preparations, but time was lost in celebration. When the British attacked, she led the defense from the front, sword in hand, inspiring her troops. The battle was fierce, especially near Phul Bagh. On June 18, 1858, Lakshmibai, dressed as a cavalry soldier, fought desperately to break a British encirclement. She was wounded by a bullet, then struck by a sword, but continued to fight. Her loyal guards carried her to a nearby cottage where she died, her last wish being that her body not fall into British hands. Her followers quickly performed her last rites, fulfilling her wish. Lakshmibai was gone, only in her late 20s. Even her enemies recognized her bravery. Sir Hugh Rose called her the most dangerous rebel leader. Her final stand was a testament to her courage. The Queen of Jhansi had defied an empire to her last breath. Her death marked the end of an era, but the beginning of a legend. Lakshmibai's sacrifice would inspire generations. Her spirit would never be forgotten. Lakshmibai's death did not end her story. It began her legend. The British won the war but could not erase her memory. Her courage spread through songs, poems, and stories across India. She became a symbol of resistance, inspiring future generations. Her legacy was not about victory, but about unyielding spirit. She showed that true heroes fight for what is right, even against impossible odds. Her sacrifice inspired freedom fighters, including Subhas Chandra Bose, who named a women's regiment after her. Lakshmibai became a role model for women, breaking barriers and redefining Indian womanhood. Statues of her stand across India, her story taught as a lesson in courage and justice. She remains one of India's greatest heroes. The Queen forged in battle became an eternal flame of inspiration. Her legacy reminds us that true leaders can never be defeated. Lakshmibai's spirit lives on in every fight for freedom. Rani Lakshmibai's story is more than history. It's a lesson in courage and leadership. She faced crisis with resolve, choosing to fight rather than surrender. Her leadership came from her deep bond with her people, inspiring them through action, not just words. Lakshmibai's courage gave hope to thousands. She showed that true leaders serve, sacrifice, and stand with their people in tough times. Her life teaches us about resilience, integrity, and the power of standing up for what's right. These stories are not just about the past, they guide us today. By learning from leaders like Lakshmibai, we discover the strength within ourselves. The world needs those willing to stand for justice, just as she did. Thank you for joining this journey into the past. If you're inspired, explore more stories of courage from history. The echoes of Lakshmibai's bravery continue to inspire us all. Her legacy challenges us to find the leader within.